In this video, we're going to cover how to save your way to be a millionaire. Based on several different amounts of savings, how many years it's going to take you to become a millionaire. How much do you need to save to be a millionaire by the time you retire? How much do you need to save to become a millionaire? Before we get into this, we need to cover a few basic principles first. Before you can begin to save, you need to pay off your debts first. If you're paying interest on debts, then it's going to mount up. Unless it's low-cost debt or debt towards an asset that increases in value, such as property. However, credit card debts or personal loans are going to keep accumulating in costs, so you need to get those paid off first. So if you're debt-free, how much do you need to actually save to become a millionaire? The next part we need to cover is compounding interest, where each dollar you save will increase in value if you invest it in a way that earns interest each year. Then each year that interest builds as you earn interest on the new amount. Investments that over time return a pretty predictable increase are real estate and the stock market. Are there years that the amount spikes either positively or negatively? Absolutely. There are sharp rises and strong drops or even crashes. However, over time, those even out. So we've based our numbers on an annual increase of 4%. You might be saying, well, I can get a better percentage return than that, and you might be right. However, 4% is a realistic number and doesn't require you to put a high level of expertise in to pull off that as a return. You might also be able to buy a property that's underpriced and you make it over and flip it for more, and that's great for you, but that's also a fair bit of work. This is just based on being able to invest the money and almost not have to worry about it. Over time, it will even out to this level of return. 4% averaged out over time is also pretty reliable. Housing and stock markets over decades have usually returned more. However, when calculating plans for the future, you want to be planning based on the smaller side. That way, if you exceed it, then you have more, as opposed to underestimating where if you don't reach your numbers, now you have a shortfall to cover for. So if you save a set amount each year, how long will it take you to save your way to being a millionaire? Obviously, depending on how old you are and when you start saving, will impact on how much you have when you are ready to retire. So if you want to be a millionaire when you retire, this is how much money you would need to put aside each year and invest in order to be a millionaire based on how many years you have left until you retire. Or if you've maxed out how many years you have left to earn money, then how much you would need to aim to save each year in order to be a millionaire by the time you do retire. Well, based on the 4% compounding interest, it's 95 years at $1,000 per year, which unless you're 5 years old right now, it's probably unlikely you're able to work that many years. 78 years at $2,000 per year, which is also probably unlikely you could work that long still unless you are 20 and plan to work till the age of 98, which might be possible with modern medicine, I guess. So if we move to $10,000 per year, it's 42 years. Which is reasonable if you are 20, then that gives you a retirement age of 62. At $20,000 per year, it's about 28 to 29 years. At $30,000 per year, it would take you 22 years to save up to being a millionaire. At $50,000 per year, it will take you 15 years. At $70,000 per year, it will take you 12 years to save $1 million. It's 11 years at $80,000 per year, with the close gap being because early in your 10th year, you'd hit $1 million. To become a millionaire in 10 years, you need to save $85,000 per year and invest it. Now you might say, great, if I want to retire in 10 years with $1 million, I just need to save $85,000 a year. But unfortunately, that wouldn't even be the case. Yes, you would have that amount in investments. However, based on the profits you are investing, then you would have to pay taxes on the increased values. It's way too complex to go into the specifics, as that depends on where you live and what investment, over what time, when you access the money, and so on. But for example's sake, if you invested it to $1 million in 10 years, you probably put in approximately $850,000. The compounding interest gave you $150,000. That means that you would have profited $150,000. Depending on how you structured it, that might be considered capital gains or income, which would therefore be taxed. That's a whole different topic that will be individual to your situation, so we won't be covering that here. However, you should speak to an accountant, as there are ways to structure it for the best benefit for your current situation. The point of this video is to give you an idea of what you would actually need to save to reach being a millionaire and in what time frame, and to give you something to aim for. It enables you to set goals and think about the bigger impact of spending money. For example, if you were to buy a new car because you have $20,000 saved this year, and you're considering a $10,000 car versus a $20,000 car, on its surface, you can cover the cost of both. However, putting it into perspective of that's a whole year of my goal for saving towards being a millionaire when I retire is a whole different story. Also, the more you save earlier on, the more time it has to compound. So if you're young, that money has more time to increase in value by the time you retire. So the sooner you can start saving for retirement, the better. The numbers might also be confronting. You might not be earning a lot, or you are earning a lot, but you're also spending a lot. When you realize how much you need to save and over what time to retire with $1 million, it can cause you to take a deeper look at your income and perhaps a sign that you need to change. That's not to say that you need to change careers. Maybe you need to change your spending habits, or you need to improve your skills so you can earn more. Retiring in 10 years is extreme, given that most people retire in their 60s. So if they started working at 18 and retire at 60, that's 42 years, which is approximately the same amount of time to save $10,000 a year and retire with $1 million. Another element to think about is how much do you even actually want to retire with? $1 million might not be enough for some, and it might be more than required for others. Let us know in the comments how much you want to save each year, and in decades' time, if YouTube is still around, you can come back and check you achieved your goal. If this is 30 years later and you're checking out your comments to see if you achieved your goal and you did, congrats. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. In future, we will break down the percentages at different income levels of how to save to become a millionaire.